Bhakti Dhira Swami Tinana Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachari Mudhi Sesa Sunyavadi Parsatya Desatari Om Gyana Timurandasya Yanandana Solakara Chakchuran Litandina Tasmai Sri Shri Caitanya Mano Disam Kapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swakadam Vandeham Sri Gurun Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavam Sri Rupam Sagradatam Sahagana Raghunatam Dutam Samsadi Sadvitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Sri Sakantam He Krishna Karuna Sindhudana Bandhu Jagapati Gopisa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Pakanchana Gourangi Radhe Banda Banishwari Visavana Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya One Chakal Paparobhyascha Kripa Sindhya Vacha Patitanam Pavinibhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakti Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat Antya Leela Chapter 9. Anyone who devotedly hears these narrations will attain pure devotion to Lord Krishna. Everything will be auspicious for him. Then, having fulfilled the desire in lion-like Lord Advaita's heart, Lord Chaitanya, the Supreme Personality of God, returned to his home. In this way, accepting meals in the homes of Srivas and the other devotees, Lord Chaitanya fulfills everyone's desire. Accompanied by his devotee, Lord Chaitanya performed Sankirtan moment after moment. He personally danced and made others dance also. Damodara Pandit went to see Mother Sati. After seeing Mother Sati, he quickly went to Jagannath Puri. Seeing Damodara Pandit, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took him to a private place and asked about Mother Sati. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "You went to see her? You went to see my mother?" Is my mother devoted to Lord Vishnu? Tell me the truth. Hearing this word renounced and austere, Damodara Pandit became angry and said, "Master, how can I describe your mother's devotion? Master, why do you ask this question? It is by your mother's mercy that you have devotion to Lord Vishnu. Whatever power you have, all comes from her. Please know without doubt that whatever devotion Lord Vishnu has arisen within you comes from your mother's mercy. Tears, trembling, perspiration, fainting, shouting, and the body stands erect. The symptoms of ecstasy that come from pure devotion to Lord Vishnu never for a moment stop being manifested on your mother's body. On her graceful mouth is always manifested the holy name of Krishna. Master, you have asked about your mother's devotion. Anyone who asks about her devotion to Lord Vishnu should see your mother. Anyone who asks about her devotion to Lord Vishnu, see your mother. Your mother is devotional service personified. This I tell you. You know this already. Your question is only to bewilder me. Anyone who speaks the ordinary word, I, mother, will by the power of the word, I, no longer suffer any troubles. Hearing his mother's glories from Damodara's mouth, Lord Caitanya felt bliss that had no limit. Tasting the nectar of ecstatic love, Lord Caitanya happily embraced Damodara Pandit again and again. Lord Caitanya said, Damodara, from this day, you have the right to sell me. You spoke what was in my heart. Whatever word of devotion to Lord Vishnu I possess is all by my mother's mercy. That is not a lie. It is by her desire that I came to this earth. Never will I have the power to repay my debt to her. I am a prisoner in my mother's home. Listen, O Damodara. I see my mother at every moment. In this way, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave his mercy to Damodara Pandit. Then, Lord Chaitanya returned and sat amongst his devotees. Being asked about his mother's devotion, Lord Chaitanya taught a lesson to the entire world. Then Lord Chaitanya asked an old friend about their friends and kinsmen. He said, please tell me about my friends and kinsmen. Do they have any auspicious life? To reveal that devotional service is the true meaning of the word auspicious. To reveal that devotional service is the true meaning of the word auspicious, Lord Chaitanya asked this question. When devotional service is present, everything is auspicious. When devotional service is absent, even a king has a life that is inauspicious. If a person has all wealth, fame, and pleasures, but no devotional service to the Lord, then everything he has is inauspicious. If a person has not even today's food, and if he lives at the very limit of poverty, but he has devotion to Lord Vishnu, then he is wealthy. This is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching. What is true life? And it is opposite what we have today. Opposite. Like here in Nigeria, big churches, big, massive churches are here. Churches that occupy kilometers of land. And one of them have 3 private jets. 3 private jets. Pastors. How do they get the money? They are robbing the people. Come for prayer so that you can have salvation. So for today, salvation means wealth. And it means money. Is to have money. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching, wealth is not money. Wealth is pure devotional service to Krishna. This is wealth. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching, when devotional service is present, everything is auspicious. When devotional service is absent, even a king has a life that is inauspicious. Why a king? Because a king has opulence, has kingdom, has wealth. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that is inauspicious life. If one has no devotion to Krishna, the life is inauspicious. And he continued, if a person has all wealth, he has fame, he has pleasures, but no devotion to the Lord, then everything he has is inauspicious. If a devotee, if a person has not even today's food, if a person is so poor that doesn't have the food for today, what to speak of tomorrow? Today, this food is not there. And if he lives at the very limit of poverty, but he has devotion to Lord Vishnu, then he is wealthy. He's wealthy. On the pretext of accepting invitations for meals, Lord Chaitanya explained this truth to everyone. Smiling, Lord Chaitanya will say to the person inviting him for a meal, "O master of 100,000, please come before me." The master of 100,000, master of 100,000, please come before me. Only the master of 100,000 may invite me for a meal. Hearing this, all the Brahmanas became anxious at heart. And the Brahmanas complained, we don't even have 1,000. What to talk of 100,000? We don't even have 1,000. That means that we're not going to accept meal in our house because you don't have money. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, no, you don't understand what I mean by 100,000. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is explaining what is wealth. What is wealth? Listen, what is wealth? Only the master of 100,000 may invite me to a meal. Hearing this, all the Brahmanas became very anxious at heart. The Brahmanas then offered this prayer, "O Lord, who of us has 100,000 coins? None of us have even 1,000 coins. We don't have. He will not accept meals from us householders. Then, what is our life? What is the purpose of our life? If you don't accept meals in our house, we will all burn to ashes. Because the only way we can be fortunate, can be auspicious, is to have a sadhu come to the house and give us blessing. In the name of taking prasadam in our house, is to give us blessing. And for you in particular, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the base, the Supreme Brahmana. If you're not accepting food from our house, then our life is useless. Then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, do you know what is the meaning? Master of 100,000, it describes a person who every day chant 100,000 holy names. That's what someone is asking. A person who can chant 100,000 names, then you are qualified to invite me to the house. This is wealth. This is wealth. That person I call master of 100,000. That person may offer me a meal. I will not enter any other house. Hearing the Lord's merciful words, the Brahmanas lost their worries and became happy at heart. They said, we will chant 100,000 holy names. Please accept meal from us. We are fortunate that you have taught this to us. So Lord Caitanya would accept meals from them. The Brahmanas now chanted 100,000 holy names daily. In this way, teaching how to engage in devotional service, the king of Vaikuntha played in an ocean of devotional activities. In this way, Lord Caitanya taught how to engage in devotional service. The Lord said, the person who engages in devotional service has an auspicious life. I always stand behind him. Lord Caitanya will not look at any face that did not glorify devotional service. One day, Lord Caitanya asked his spiritual master, Kesava Bharati, about Bhakti devotional service, and Jnana, impersonal speculation. Lord Caitanya said, which is better, Bhakti or Jnana? Oh, Master, please consider this and tell me their final conclusion. Thinking in his heart for some moment, Kesava Bharati spoke to Lord Caitanya. Kesava Bharati said, after thinking in my heart, I see that devotional service is more glorious than anything else. Then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, why is devotional service better than impersonal speculation? The sannyasis say impersonal speculation is better. Kesava Bharati said, they do not know the path the great souls walk. Fools leave the path of scriptures, the path the great souls walk. Brahma, Shiva, Narada, Prahlada, 𝐁𝐸𝐴 Goswami, 𝐁𝐡𝐚𝐤𝐴, Sanaka, and the sages, Yudhishthira, and the Pandavas, Priyavrata, Prithu Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj, Akrura, and Uddhava are the names of the great souls. They are Mahajans. They are Mahajans. What did they teach? What is their teaching? Bhakti is the goal of life, not Jnana. Approaching the Supreme Lord's feet, they all beg for devotional service. Why do they beg for devotional service and not impersonal speculation? Why? Without stopping to think, do the great souls turn from impersonal liberation and moment after moment beg for devotional service? All the words of the Puranas approve this. What boon did the demigod Brahma beg from the Supreme Personality of God? The Brahma said, my dear Lord, I pray that I may be so fortunate that in this life or in another life, wherever I may take my birth, I may be counted as one of your devotees. Wherever I may be, I pray that I may be engaged in your devotional service. These words mean I may take birth as Brahma, or I may take birth in any form of life. I will always be your servant, and I will always serve you. In this way, the great soul will turn from everything else and desire only devotional service. In the Vishnu Purana, it is said, oh Lord, I may take birth in thousands of wombs, one after another, O infallible Lord. I pray that in each birth, I may have unflinching devotion to you. O Supreme Lord, O Master of the senses, I pray that wherever I take birth, I will always have firm devotion to you. Wherever I wander in the material universe under the influence of my karma, by the will of the Lord, May your auspicious activities cause our attraction to the Krishna to increase. Dry arguments are inconclusive. A great personality whose opinion does not differ from others is not considered a great sage, simply by studying the Vedas, which are variegated. One cannot come to the right path by which religious principles are understood. The solid truth of religious principles is hidden in the heart of an unadulterated, self-realized person. Consequently, as the Shastras confirmed, one should accept whatever progressive path the Mahajans advocate. Hearing from Kesava Bharati's mouth the word devotional service is the best. With joy and with love, Caitanya Mahaprabhu roared, Hari! So Caitanya said, now I will stay a few more days on the earth. I tell you the truth. If you had said, impersonal Brahman, impersonal speculation is the best, I will have drowned myself in the ocean. I will have drowned myself in the ocean. Here is the teacher of the scripture, Vedanta, knowledge. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the greatest Pandit, Nimai Pandit, the supreme Pandit. He did not say that the path of Gyan is the best. He said here, I will have drowned myself. If you, my teacher, say the same thing that these useless people are saying, I will have drowned myself. Now I can live for this because we have said the truth. Bhakti is the ultimate. Bhakti is the ultimate. Then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu happily embraced his Guru's feet. With a happy heart, the Guru offered obeisance to Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, anyone whose mouth does not talk about devotion to the Lord wears a sikha and a sacred thread in vain. Anyone whose mouth does not talk about devotion to the Lord. The person may put on sikha, the person may put on Brahman thread. Sister Mahaprabhu said this person is living a useless life. Useless life. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked questions only about devotional service and nothing else. Lord Chaitanya was the personified nectar of devotional service. Night and day, the devotees knew nothing but devotional service. They always danced and loudly chanted in kirtan. So one day, Advaita Acharya, wild with bliss, said to the devotees, listen, oh my brothers, filling your mouth with his names. Today, we will sing about Lord Chaitanya. Today, we will not sing about any other avatar. Lord Chaitanya is the essence of all the avatars. Therefore, today we are going to sing his glory. Today, taking us with him, Lord Chaitanya descended to the earth to deliver everyone in all the world. By his mercy, we are honored everywhere. He has given us the great word that is Sankirtan. I will dance. You all sing Lord Chaitanya's glories. Roar like lions. Leave behind all the fears in their heart. Lord Chaitanya had hidden himself. All the devotees thought Lord Chaitanya would be angry. However, no one could disobey Advaita Acharya's command. They all sang Lord Chaitanya's glories. Wild with bliss, lion like Advaita Acharya danced. In the four directions, everyone sang Lord Chaitanya's glories. Hearing the names of the glories, hearing the names and glories of Lord Caitanya, the Lord's most recent avatar in this world, all the Vaishnavas became wild with bliss. Let us chant the name of Gora Hari, Goranga, Gora Narayan, Gora Govinda, Gora Hari, Gora Sundar. Yes. Vaishnava is singing about Lord Caitanya. Advaita Acharya danced. In this way, he delivered the word. O Sri Caitanya, O Narayan, O Ocean of Mercy, O friend of the distressed, O Lord, please be merciful to me. When this verse came on lion-like Lord Advaita's mouth, the kirtan became very glorious. Someone said, Jai Sachinanda. Someone else said, Jai Gorachanda Narayan. Glory to Chaitanya Narayan. Glory to Chaitanya Krishna, who is found of Sankirtan. Glory to the Lord who loves the devotees and is destructive time personified to the blasphemous. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the destructive time personified to the blasphemous. Lion-like Advaita Acharya widely danced. All the devotees sang all Lord Chaitanya's names of virtues and his activities. Look at Lord Caitanya. Look at Lord Caitanya. As he joyfully sings the Supreme Lord's glories, he rolls about on the ground, and the hairs of his body stand erect. He is Lord Krishna himself. He is the king of Vaikuntha, assuming the form of a Brahmana. He has descended to this world. Now he enjoys pastimes of Sankirtan. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will sing the Sankirtan of the holy name of Krishna day and night. And he engaged everybody to do the same. The incarnation of Krishna, the Chaitanya who came for that. Chaitanya who came for that. So if we want to worship Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, if we want to play Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we should take interest in chanting. We should take interest in chanting. We should chant the holy name of Krishna. That is the only way to please Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Everything else is secondary. As far as the incarnation of Krishna in the form as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is concerned, the best way to worship Krishna is to chant the holy name of Krishna. The best religion is to chant the holy name of Krishna. The best auspiciousness, the best charity, the best sacrifice, the best austerity is to chant the holy name of Krishna. This is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to teach. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's graceful body, slender body, defeat gold. His arm reached to his knees. Assuming the form of a sannyasi, he has become wild by tasting the nectar of love for a person who is actually himself. Why does he dance so blissfully? I do not know. Glory to Lord Chaitanya, who is handsome and fair, and who is an ocean of mercy. Oh glories, oh glories, oh glory to the King of Vaikuntha, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Oh glories, oh glories, oh glory to he who is now the King of Navadvip. Oh Lord, please give me the shade of your lotus feet. All the devotees sang Kirtan, meditating on Lord Chaitanya's feet. Advaita Acharya danced. Hearing these new verses about the Lord's most recent avatar, the Vaishnavas joyfully sang the names of Lord Krishna, Caitanya, Gora Chandra, Gora Sundar, Gora Hari. How wonderful was the bliss in that kirtan. Lord Nityananda alone has the power to describe it completely. Hearing the loud sounds of the kirtan, Lord Chaitanya, the jewel of the sannyasis, came there. Seeing Lord Chaitanya, the devotees sang with even more joy, and Advaita Acharya danced with even more bliss. Filled with bliss, no one feared Lord Chaitanya. Everyone openly sang of Lord Chaitanya's glories. In his pastimes, Lord Chaitanya was always in the mood of a Krishna servant. He would say, I am a servant of Lord Krishna, please do not call me anything else. Although Chaitanya Mahaprabhu calls himself a servant of Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called himself the servant of Krishna. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's incarnation is widely known as not as Krishna, not as Krishna. Not as Krishna. Krishna Varnam Prisha Krishna Sango Pangas the Porsadam. 𝐤𝐬𝐬 Krishna Pajajanti Husumedasa. A Krishna. Atusha Krishna. Means he is not Krishna who is black. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is correct to address himself as the servant of servant of servant and servant and servant, only servant of Krishna. But let us look very carefully. What do you see? If you look very carefully, what do you see? Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, although he said he is a devotee of Krishna, he was more demanding. He was more commanding that when he came himself as Krishna. Huh? Don't you see? Don't you see very carefully? Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is more authoritative than when he came himself as Krishna. He's more authoritative. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu behaved more independently than when he came, even more than when he came as Krishna. Huh? Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he told Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur, all of you should go house to house, street to street, person to person, country to country, planet to planet, universe to universe. Request everyone to chant Hare Krishna. And do this service the whole day. In the evening, you should come and give me Sankirtan report. Anyone who refused to follow this order, come and tell me. I'll go and cut off the person's head with my Sudarshan Chakra. Is that a servant order? Is that a servant order? That is Master's order. He didn't say this in Chaitanya Lila. He's saying in Krishna Lila. He's saying this in Chaitanya Lila. He's more authoritative than when he came as Krishna. Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Santipur when Advaita Acharya was preaching Yoga Vasishtha philosophy. He went there and said they're beating him. Is that he was beating Advaita Acharya? Is that a servant or master? Is that a servant? He says he's a servant, but he's beating his devotee whom he said is his master. The time Mahaprabhu used to take dust from Advaita Acharya's lotus feet every day. When Advaita Acharya tried to stop him, he could not stop him. He continued. But now he's beating Advaita Acharya. So is that master or servant? And then one day, Srivas Pandit was praying to Lord Nrsimhadev for protection. Sri Chaitanya came there, kicked the door open. And he said, Srivas, what are you doing? You called for me. You and Advaita Acharya called for me to come. I came here and you are here praying to who? Advaita Acharya had left me out of anger. He has gone to Santipur. There he's talking nonsense. And you are here praying to who? What nonsense is this? Get out from here and look at me. The person you call for has come. I'm the supreme personality of Godhead. Is that a servant or master? Speaking like that. Eh? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu acted more of a master than servant. Although he spoke like that, but his action, his activity show that he's a master. He doesn't show he's a servant. See? Then, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Brother Sati, Brother, please give me garlands, incense, flowers, oils, another paraphernalia. I want to go and worship Ganga. And Sasibata said, okay, just give me a moment. I'm going to get the garland. Just hearing from Sachimata that wait for me, I'm going to go and get the garland for you. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, are you going to get it now? And as soon as Sachimata left, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu broke everything in the house. He broke everything, all the stock of grains, varieties of grains. Sachimata stock in the house, all the dry nuts, everything. Chaitanya brought everything down, broke everything into pieces. When they were not more to be broken, he started beating all the doors, breaking the doors, breaking the walls. Everything was in a mess. Is that master or servant activity? He was more commanding in Chaitanya Lila than in Krishna Lila. So anyway, he advertised himself as a servant. I am the servant and servant of Krishna. I'm the servant of Krishna. His activity shows he's a master. He is supreme master. To teach everyone Lord Chaitanya, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Supreme Shiksha Guru, went home when he heard others singing a Kirtan glorifying him. Even so, fear was not born in any heart. Now they sang the Lord Chaitanya's glories all the more. External consciousness was not present in anyone's body. Everyone saw that Lord Chaitanya was present in the Kirtan glorifying him. Everyone widely sang Lord Chaitanya's glory. They became almost like madmen. The saintly devotees heard that Kirtan with joy. The wicked were unhappy to hear it. For what value are brahmacharya or sannyas to a person who is not pleased by the Chaitanya's glory? In this way, the devotees always joyfully sang Sankirtan of Krishna's holy name. Anyone who reads or hears of these blissful Pastimes will one day meet all the personal associates of Chaitanya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu 𝐾𝐽. Singing and dancing, all these great devotees went to see Lord Chaitanya, hearing the Kirtan glorifying him, and then seeing how everyone had come. Lord Chaitanya became afraid. He lay down to go to sleep. Saintly Govinda informed the Lord, all the Vaisavas are at your door. Lord Chaitanya ordered Govinda to bring them all inside. Then Lord Chaitanya went to sleep. No one looked in any other direction. They looked only at him. Afraid, all the devotees meditated on Lord Chaitanya's feet. In a moment, Lord Chaitanya, who dearly loves his devotees, awakened. He said, All the Vaishnavas, Saintly Srivas Pandit, why have you all come here today? Why? Abandoning Lord Krishna's holy names and abandoning Kirtan glorifying Lord Krishna, have you all come here and awakened me? Very eloquent Srivas said, Lord, the individuals who have no power to act independently against your will, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead makes me act and speak, so I act and speak. This I tell you. Lord Caitanya said, you are all panditas. Why do you hide your knowledge? Hearing Lord Caitanya's words, Srivas Pandit moved his hand as if he were trying to cover the sun. Then he laughed. Lord Caitanya said, what do you hint by moving your hands like that? Tell me what your gestures means. Srivas said, with this hand, I will cover the sun. Thus, I tell you the meaning of this gesture. Do I have the power to cover the sun with one hand? In the same way, you have no power to hide yourself. Even if one day I get the power to cover the sun with my hand, you, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, will still have no power to hide yourself. On the ocean of milk, you could not hide yourself. How will you hide yourself in the world of human society? Your pure glories will fill every direction, from the Himalayas to Setubanda to the entire earth. The Kirtan glorifying you will fill the entire universe, reaching up to Brahmaloka. How many people will sing in that Kirtan? How will you punish them all? The Supreme Personality of Godhead always chant the glories of his devotees. Now, a great wonder has come to the Lord's own door. From where did so many thousands and thousands of people come? I do not know. After seeing Lord Jagannath, they all went to see Lord Caitanya. Some had come from Tripura, others from Chattigrama, others from Srihat, and others from East Bengal. Thousands and thousands of people sang a kirtan glorifying Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Jai Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Vanamali. Jai Jai Nija Bhakti Rasa Kutu Hali. Glory, glory to Sri Krishna Chaitanya, who is forest flower garlanded Lord Krishna. Glory, glory to the Lord, who now happily tastes the nectar of devotional service to a person who is actually himself. Glory, glory to the Lord, who has now assumed the form of the Supreme Sannyasi. Glory, glory to Lord Krishna, who is now eager to enjoy pastimes of Sankirtan. Jai Jai Sarabha Jagatara Upakari. Jai Krishna Chaitanya Sri Satimata. Sri Satira Nandan. Glory, glory to the King of Brahmanas, who is actually the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Master who enjoys pastimes in Vaikuntha. Glory, glory to the Lord, who blesses all the world. Glory to Sati's Son, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much, Guru Maharaj, for enabling us to understand this pastime, which are a bit very tricky, especially how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was commanding. Like he was claiming he is a servant, but in fact, when we analyze his activities, he's more like a master than a servant. So, in that regard, Guru Maharaj, I have a question. When you mentioned that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was glorifying devotees who have devotion as the real wealth, that they have the real wealth when they have devotion. And we see in the life of Kulavej Brahmana, he was also very poor, But every day Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was coming to his place and he was bargaining banana from him. So in modern life, we see wealth is considered in another way. Like you have opulence, you have money, you have assets, and we see devotees are more like going in that direction. So how we can focus on this wealth which is being pointed out by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, rather than the wealth that everyone knows. We are going after that. How we can have a shift of a mindset from this type of wealth to the real wealth. How we can bring about this shift?
To shift our consciousness is what we are doing. We have to hear. We have to hear. Otherwise, if we don't hear this, we will not know. We wouldn't know. We will follow blindly and die blindly. But by hearing from the right source, then we come to realize what is wealth, what is actual wealth, and wealth in this true sense of it. What does it mean? Pure love of Godhead, devotional self-sufficiency. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told his mother, it is the duty of every responsible child to travel and bring wealth, which we are doing now. People are traveling overseas, different countries, for what? Not for preaching. They're traveling to go and make money. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, that is the duty of a child to bring money. So Satyamata said, yes, that is the duty of a responsible child. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, so I am going in the same way I am going out. I will take sannyas, worship Lord Krishna, get pure love of Godhead, which is the wealth, which is true wealth, and I'll bring that to you. Any fault in my desire to take sannyas? Is there any fault? Such a matter surrender. I am traveling to go and bring wealth. How will I get the wealth? I will take sannyas. Renounce. We have mentioned many times. Renunciation is opulence. Renunciation is not poverty. Renunciation is opulence. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I'm going to bring. That's what I'm traveling for. Give me permission to travel and bring the wealth. So we have to hear this, then we can understand what is real wealth. Pure love for God, pure devotional service. So it is when we hear this, then our desire to shift from improper consciousness to proper consciousness will take place. Because then we will practice. We're not going to just travel alone to go and make money. We will travel to, yes, we should make the money at the same time. We should also get the highest wealth. So we see that in Caitanya Lila, you see so many devotees who are very wealthy, extremely wealthy. We also saw many devotees who are extremely poor. Like all of us that is mentioned, Suklambara Brahmachari, they are very poor. Suklambara Brahmachari is very poor, which has the word of Bhakti. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told him that when you go for baking, that is Sankirtan. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't say that if you travel to go and make billions, you are on Sankirtan. He didn't say that. But you are going to beg, that is Sankirtan. And he said, not only that you are going on Sankirtan, I also follow you behind every day. Every day you go for baking, that is Sankirtan, and I also follow you behind. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't say he follows us behind when they're traveling overseas to make money. We are breaking our head here and there to make money. The time Mahaprabhu doesn't follow us. When we are preaching Krishna consciousness, because we have love of Godhead and we are distributing that love of Godhead, the time Mahaprabhu follows us behind everywhere. So we should hear these things, then we can. We have also other powerful devotees, very wealthy. Kundari Vidyanidhi was extremely wealthy. Kundari Vidyanidhi's trust can is made of gold. Not this gold we have today, 22 carats, 24 carats, the highest. Not that gold. 1,000 carat gold. It's a trust can for Kundari Vidyanidhi. Is that poverty? He has spiritual wealth and material wealth. He has both. He has both, and he never deviated. Look at Srivas Pandit. Look at Lord Advaita Chara. Look at Ramananda Rai. Look at all these devotees. Everything is complete in Krishna consciousness. Everything is complete. There's nothing which is missing. So to hear these things, then we can adjust our consciousness to fit into Krishna, or by the help of devotional service, our consciousness will be adjusted into Krishna. Otherwise, we will be in material poverty, and in material poverty, we will not have a chance to practice bhakti. Why? Because we will spend our time trying to make money and forget bhakti. When one is too materialistic, one is so conscious of sanga aggregation, we will not have time for bhakti. No time. Because our preoccupation will be how to make money, how to gratify the senses. One fortunate devotee, very, very fortunate devotee. It's American. He said he was born in a very wealthy American family. He has all the facility for science education in abundance. And all the neighborhood also, they have the same thing. He saw all this, but he also noticed that none of them is happy. So we have to remove this disease, thinking that money will make anyone happy. Money will help to some extent, but they cannot give us back. So we should not sacrifice our bhakti for money. Therefore, he showed that, look, my father, look, all these people around here, they have all these facilities. Everything materially speaking is there, but none of them is happy. Therefore, he started looking for eternity. And he came to Krishna consciousness. Now he's happy. So, from rich America to simple India. That is life. All right?
Yes, thank you, Maharaj. Now we can take question from other devotees, Maharaj.
All right.
Hare Krishna, Shah, please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet. We don't have any questions on Zoom and YouTube, Shah.
All right. So this one is a narration. So it's not a philosophy. So people don't. It's a narration. It's a narration. It's not philosophy here. Some people will not ask much. Except the Anand Prabhu who always listen very attentive. You can create anything. All right. So wishing all of you a wonderful, purifying, God-filled 2022.
We thank you so much for the nectarian and beautiful pastimes of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu Shagudev, and we thank all the devotees present.
Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Shri Bhakti Dhira Damodara Maharaj ki, Shri Bhakti Dhira Swami ki,
Jai.
Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki
Jai.
Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.
Jai.
Sri Chaitanya Mangala ki Bhagavad